Hey, it's Feedback Friday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a fantastic finish to your week and ready for another good episode. Today, we're going to jump in, and I've got Kelly on our team who is going to join me in doing some review of some fantastic email. Kelly, thanks for joining me. This is fun to have you.
Thanks, Matthew. It's fun to be here.
This episode is sponsored by Influence. From subject lines to pre-header text, call to action button placement, email content, header images, and more, you can test up to 5 versions of an email with the Influence marketing platform. Get a demo at the link below.
This is GoPro, a company no one has ever heard of. But, just kidding. I would love to hear what's doing it for you. What works well in this initial GoPro email?
Well, I love right off the bat, really, the animation in the background jumps out to me. Since it's a Black Friday email, I think it's really important to grab the reader's attention and just do something that's just really like, wow. So like having the deal flash in the background is really cool. And I just love that product shot. I think it's really clean. It's really crisp. It kind of takes an inanimate object and makes it something that's like in motion. So I think that that's a really cool feature.
One of the things I think that's working really well here is the simplicity of this email. They're just getting out of the way, get the jump on Black Friday, boom, get right in front of people. They use just a really clear heading and get that shop now moving and then get you, right into the visuals to see what you want to create. This sort of deal graphic is a little bit new, I think, for GoPro. I haven't seen it before. But I think that just showing off the product shot makes for a nice image. What, if anything, on something like this would you add to or change about this email?
So I like how they have the Shop Now CTA at the top. It's very focused and very simple. One thing that I would update is to have maybe one more CTA button at the end, because once you finish scrolling through, I think that it's more valuable to bring the reader back to the website rather than the social media, because you want to drive them towards that product or drive them towards that sale. So I would just like to see like one more CTA button at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. And I thought that I'm sure that there's not just one deal going on, but that there might be others. Now that said, that would be a great split test, right? Is to try focusing people on just one thing and then run another email where you have 2 things and see which one performs better, see what you learn. Let's jump into a few others here in the GoPro stack. It looks like this one is around some of the features in the current cameras. Again, great product imagery. I really like how they're using 2 types of light on this product shot. Whether this is an actual product shot or if it's digitally rendered, really is attractive and makes for just a fantastic visual. One of the things I love here too is they just get real clear with a nice big title, image around like the new 9, simple subheading, this really simple subtext, shop now. And then they repeat this. They have a secondary CTA here. I'm a little bit curious about why they switched to that instead of using the clear button. They change up the imagery using a little bit of an angle here, which I think is a nice, way to handle this. You can see it's a PNG. It occupies the space of a rectangular image, but they get a little bit more action out of that by creating a diagonal here, and I like that. I think that's interesting. They continue to use this same lockup for text, really consistent. I like how they go top left, down right, top right, down left. They use a zigzag motion to move down through this email, and I think it's working really well. And then they end with another option to subscribe to GoPro and get 50% off, which is pretty cool. Assuming that somebody's already subscribed to their email, I'm guessing that's like some kind of other subscription, but not just a subscribe to email, but some sort of subscription service that they've got. So I think it's a good way of leading me through some other things that are working. Again, pretty on point in terms of this black that shows off the aesthetic of the GoPro. I do think over here on mobile, man, this just looks great. It really shows off the photography really well. I think this gray on the outside is not as effective. If it were me, I would make that either a really dark gray to still have a feeling of a column here in the main email, and or just keep it black. it's such a high contrast that it just distracts from the email. What about you?
I agree. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen maybe a darker color like a black or so, because it does kind of take away from the content. But I do like the zigzag and how they do put that focus, so it's very clear on mobile.
What do you think from your experience, Kelly? Why are they doing this secondary CTA as a text and not a button? What's your thinking there?
I'm thinking that with the button, that's more focused towards maybe people who are just being introduced to GoPro for the first time. Maybe they haven't seen the product or they haven't bought the product before, so that's kind of just a bam, right in the middle, shop now, like go and get it. And then as you scroll down, maybe more of like the more advanced GoPro user, they're more looking for accessories or something to complement what they already have. So maybe it's more of a softer, like you already know what's going on, like you know the deal. Here's a place where you can shop now. So it's kind of a softer CTA.
You might be right. That's an interesting way to do it, right? Is to start people out with something really focused and then slowly draw them down. One thing I would test, I think, if I were GoPro, would be seeing what effect you get if you make all of those the same color CTA and like an actual button, or if you make this still secondary but maybe underline it or make it a little bit clearer that it's a CTA. Even another thing that you could test would be changing up the text. So see the brand new Zeus Mini, or get the latest gear, or whatever the CTA is, instead of just shop now. See if any of those things drive sales. You know, you never know how it'll end up affecting things, but it's cool to be able to see how those split tests work. Here we've got another, they're talking about the 8. And similar to the first one we saw, I think one of the things that's working really well in this that I think is interesting is this idea of leading with an image that shows a lot of the characteristics of the product. Get in there with that intense color, super simple title and subtitle, and then this dynamic CTA. It's powerful, gets right in there. What do you think?
I love that product shot. Again, it's bringing that product to life, bringing the camera to life and seeing it really from top to bottom, back to front. And it's a very simple email, but I think it gets the job done because it's really just like, hey, here's a new product, get yours. And it's very inviting with that CTA.
Yeah, fantastic. I think this one is one of my favorite.
And I feel like overall, this email is also a really great example of brand recognition. So GoPro keeps it simple with really like maybe 3 to 4 colors at most, with the yellow, black, blue, and the white. And I feel like they do a good job of being consistent with that and kind of switching it up in emails to where they're still using that color scheme. They're just using it in a different order.
Yeah, I think you're right. One thing, though, that I think is interesting is I get a different color scheme here, a different color scheme here. I really want to see something a little bit more consistent. I love the aesthetic of this. And I would love, and you know, another one here is this font, I'm pretty sure is not being used here. Yep. So it's just an interesting difference. We could have grabbed these GoPro at different times, and so these might be changes that they've made. But this is really nice. It's great to see live text. I would just love to see a little bit more consistency between these, but I know that can be difficult to do for a big brand. So this is even a little bit different. Still, again, another switch in the brand aesthetic. I like this aesthetic a lot. And I actually think this one and this one have a little bit more consistency between the two, probably because of the font. But man, I think what they're doing here is interesting. Using live text is great. I like these highlighted words. But look at this CTA. It's a new CTA as well. I wonder, maybe these are submissions from over a period of time. It's hard to say. What do you think about this layout?
I think this is a really cool layout too. It kind of draws your eye from right to left, kind of doing that zigzag effect. And I like that it highlights the different accessories too. So the other emails are more focused on the camera. And now here, again, here's some items that can complement that camera, or some things that you can add to your kit when you're on the go. So I think they do a really great job with that. And the CTAs definitely jump out to me. What do you think about the copy inside the CTA? So they all say get it. Do you feel like that's effective, or do you feel like it might do a little bit better if it had a different word inside each button?
A couple of the things that I would probably change would be get it all in one shot. You get these kits, here they are, and then a CTA. Then I would let the travel kit, and I would make this one of those secondary CTAs. Same here, same here. And as far as the language, I think you're right. Like, get your travel on, start your adventure, go big with sports. And then where it says shop all accessories, I would show like some kind of image with all the accessories or a bunch of accessories, and then shop all your accessories. But right now, especially these two being so close, I find that it's a little bit CTA overwhelming, and it doesn't work quite as well. You know, mobile, it works a little better because you've got this image sitting in between those. It's one of those balances, but overall, I think there's some really strong things happening here. And of course, the photography is fun and great. Well, thanks for walking through these, Miss Kelly. I love it. Appreciate it. What are you going to be doing this weekend?
Well, this weekend, I'll probably just be hanging out on the couch. I will be watching Taylor Swift's folklore films, so I'm excited about that. That'll be the highlight. How about you?
Well, I'm going to be trying to spend some time with the kids. Just trying to get some of that outdoor weather where it's safe from COVID, but I can still not be cooped up inside. So looking forward to it. Email Geeks, thanks for everything always. Please let us know what brands you'd like us to feature and to look at. Don't forget you can submit your own emails on reallygoodemails.com. And please subscribe to our channel and let others know about it. We want to keep improving, so let us know what you think. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
Happy Friday.
Thanks again to Influence for sponsoring this episode. Book your demo with the link in the video description.